A very beautiful afternoon. Thanks for, staying tuned with the Unity Station, NT Channel 5 Abuja. Well, it is about that time when we come here to look at what is happening in the world of sports, and I trust what we will be giving you today. We'll be giving you some of the highlights of the events in the previous days, and also what is about happening now, and probably look at what to expect tomorrow. And as usual, we will not be talking alone. I will be joined later by a professional colleague. I call him the Maradona of sports reporting. And trust me, when he joins us, you agree with this point. But for now, I will want you to relax and also adjust your seatbelt to be with us on Capital Sports for the next 30 minutes, where we tell you some of the issues happening right now. Well, I am Abdullahi Ajia. Please don't go away. Well, as we speak about this time, we are breathing, or smelling that reward for excellence and honor will be given to some sporting icons and stakeholders who have contributed in one way sports in this country. Come tomorrow, expectedly, we know something will be happening to 60 sporting icons as the federal government, is about able to do in the last 60 years for this country. And also back here in the FCT, we also learned that the FCT administration will also be identifying some sporting athletes who also did the territory proud in the 2018 National Sports Festival.
Right around the world of sports in 240 seconds. Super Eagles coach Gernot Rohr says there are positives to take away from the team's recent friendlies. Nigeria failed to record a win in the two friendlies, losing 1-0 to Algeria and drawing 1-0 with Tunisia. But Rohr is looking at the bright side, saying the games have helped him try out new players, while also testing the team's level of competitiveness after a long time away from international action. The Super Eagles of Nigeria have retained their status as the second most valuable national team on the continent of Africa, with a valuation of €230.68 million. They have also been ranked among the 100 most valuable national teams in the world, with the 2013 African champions occupying the 24th spot. According to Transfer Market, the Eagles are only second to fellow West Africans, Senegal, who have a valuation of €344.43 million. Nigerian forward Victor Moses is on course to join Spartak Moscow on loan this season despite the delays in his medical. The 29-year-old was said to have agreed to a temporary move to the Turkish club following Inter Milan's failure to reach a new deal with Chelsea for the player. The 2013 AFCON winner now needs to sign a new one-year contract extension at Chelsea before being allowed to leave Stamford Bridge, with the Russian transfer window shutting on Saturday. The Italian Serie A has handed Napoli a 3-0 defeat and 1-point deduction for failing to turn up for their Serie A clash at Juventus earlier this month. According to the Disciplinary Commission's findings, the Partenopei didn't follow the league's coronavirus protocol. Napoli, who have been steadfast in arguing that local health authorities wouldn't have permitted the squad from traveling to the northern part of Italy after 2 of their players tested positive for coronavirus, are expected to appeal the decision. Cristiano Ronaldo has returned to Italy to complete his coronavirus quarantine after he tested positive on Tuesday. Ronaldo was initially expected to stay in his homeland to complete isolation and potentially not return to Italy for 2 weeks. He will now be required to observe a period of isolation in Italy and therefore will be unavailable for Juventus' upcoming matches against Crotone in the Italian Serie A and Dynamo Kiev in the Champions League. Harry Maguire and Reece James saw red as England were beaten 1-0 by Denmark at Wembley to fall from top spot to third in their Nations League group. In other results, Romelu Lukaku scored twice as Belgium won 2-1 away to Iceland. A late goal from Kylian Mbappe gave France a 2-1 win over Croatia. Italy and the Netherlands settled for a 1-0 draw, while Portugal beat Sweden 3-0. Boxing promoter Bob Arum has revealed Nigeria's Ife Ajagba is among the 3 most likely candidates for Tyson Fury's homecoming fight in London in December. The Gypsy King was set to face Deontay Wilder in a trilogy fight just before Christmas in Las Vegas, but Fury's co-promoter Frank Warren confirmed that the American's rematch clause had expired and that Fury would be moving on to other opportunities. Arum, who represents the 32-year-old with top rank in the US, revealed Oscar rivals Ife Ajagba and Ajit Kabayo are now in contention to face Fury. And that'll be all on sports tidbits for this week. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you very much, Bada Adele. Succinctly delivered some of the highlights of some of the important happenings around the sporting world in recent time. Well, Bada Adele, thank you for wetting the ground for us. And without much ado, Ayodeji Makinde, we saw some of the highlights by Bada. But before we delve into talking some of these issues, I would like us to just briefly look at what we should be expecting back home here in Nigeria, in Abuja, where the federal government is about to honor 60 sporting icons.
It's going to, for those who will be honored by the federal government of Nigeria, it's going to be quite an outstanding event. It's going to be memorable, and it's going to serve as a reminder for those who are still in active sports that there will definitely come a time when you will be rewarded, you will be honored by your country. And of course, the more reason why you should put the best in everything you're doing, because you can't be too... I
think should be, all not submitted, and probably tomorrow is the day that we're expecting to see the sports ministry, organize other stakeholders, including the president, who is also expected to be there to honor some of these Nigerians. Well, anyway, we know that some of them have also, died, and probably for represent us proud. I think it is high time we, went back to some of those things that we were doing and getting results, and also so that FCT as a nation's capital will be like top, trying to put a Delta, states like Delta and Edo. It's achievable, Ayo.
Oh yeah, it is.
Okay, so well, we'll keep you updated as far as long as we get the result of what happened there, and probably let's get to know what they're being rewarded with. Now, quickly. We saw the Ganotro speaking after the 2 international friendlies. First to Algeria, we lost, and then the Tunisia match. I know a lot of people have, bared their minds of how they feel, and what they saw in terms of the tactical and technical prowess of the Super Eagles as far as these 2 friendlies are concerned. Now the coach is talking that he's seeing it from a different lens and perspective. Do you agree with that?
Surely I do. Completely I agree with him. We're in a setup where everyone is a football coach, everyone is a pundit, everyone is a goalkeeper, a defender, and a striker.
Yeah.
But when you're at the driver's seat, the way you see things will be completely different. This is a man who has been saddled with the responsibility of leading the Super Eagles, rebuilding the Super Eagles to become genuine contenders on the continent again. And we can see some positives in what is done in the last 4 years that he took over as Super Eagles manager. Yes, there are some things that you might want to question his judgment on some of the selection and some of the players that he brings into the national slack. Is the manager, is the technical advisor of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. There are more players now in the national team. The national team is becoming more attractive to so many players. Many want to argue from the flip side that we should have more local players in the Nigeria Professional Football League in the national team. But we're having more players coming in now, and it's gradually getting to a stage, or it has gotten to a stage rather, where the absence of a player in the national team, the team to a ransom. But again, people would say enough of testing, enough of inviting players over and over again. Let's build a gradual squad that we can mold into champions, and then have players who always put them on their toes. Come on, 2021 Africa Cup of Nations is just around the corner. And of course, we're looking at Qatar 2022 World Cup. For teams
with different opinion, and well, I am also of the opinion with little pessimism. I think we should have a team. Every day we keep testing, we keep inviting new players. I think, well, with due respect to the coach's judgment, I think we should be building a team that Nigerians, like you say, an average Nigerian is a coach. And that goes to tell you how passionate we are about this football or sports. It goes to show that, well, the Eagles
much to change, because these are the top two African sides, Algeria and Tunisia. We lost to Algeria and we drew Tunisia, so I don't really expect any significance. But for the national team, let's not forget, we have those that me and you know would start any serious match or any competition that Nigeria wants to go into. So testing some of these new players is to just create a pool of players that can be invited from Holland, one spot as the goalkeeper of the national team. We saw the return of Tyrone Eboehi as well. And many will want to say, possibly when Victor Osimhen gets his balance back after a team of stars, let's have a star team.
Very good, Ayo, well said there. So we should be patient with the team and the coaching. They'll be able to give us results, and I think with that we'll be making a headway as far as competition in Africa and also in the world is concerned. Well, now let me tell you that this is a program for you to be part of, and for you to be part of this program, we have a number on the screen that you can reach. Calling we can read here before.
Well, I think it's a good move from for him. You wouldn't know the decisions behind it. Lately, we got reports that Antonio Conte declared him surplus to requirements at Inter Milan. So definitely, he's still 29. He wants active football. He's no longer with the national team setup. He needs regular football to continue his career. But for Victor Moses, he's one of those those players who want to tag as being nomadic. A particular club or spending enough years in a particular club has not really helped his career. It was one of the most promising talents. But at this stage, going to Spartak Moscow, it's a dream come true for him. I'm very sure of that. But let's see how soon he can quickly establish himself and overcome one major challenge that's associated with the Russian league, which is racism.
Well, I think he has represented his name and the country, very well, and probably gets more playing time, and also we'll get to see him more, from the bench. Saying they're going to court to challenge that because reasons, given that probably there was a misinformation that led to the incident that is, bringing 3 points to Juventus.
Case that they can go to court to challenge the decision. But the law is very clear. When we are gradually coming out of the coronavirus, we're seeing countries doing everything possible to flatten the curve. A violation of any of the guns are very clear. These things were well stated before the resumption of the 2020-2021 season. And I'm sure Juventus will just be smiling at the moment because they know it's one match again that they don't really have to stress themselves because of the quality in Napoli, and it's quite best defensive setup that we have in the Italian league. But let's keep our fingers crossed and see. But right now, as it stands, the decision is 3 points for Napoli, 3 points for Juventus, and 1 point deduction.
Ronaldo, unfortunately, is also one of the latest victims of COVID-19. Now he's back to, I think, during the international friendly for Portugal, international duty for Portugal.
With the level, or let me say the approach by many of the stakeholders in the game, and better. For Cristiano Ronaldo, it was quite a loss for him not being able to play in that match that his country Portugal beat, but his country Portugal later beat Sweden by 3-0. So something to cheer about there. But this is a time where we'll still need to see him playing for Juventus. But come on, 2 weeks is not that far. We'll believe it will come back stronger and better.
And I think the Portuguese, they were able to win their last, international friendly. And apart from that, we also saw some interesting results from, the last match played. Italy, Netherlands, Portugal beating, and also Croatia. So very interesting results, if you ask me. And we know now they'll be returning to their respective clubs as there are other to meet up with the schedules for this weekend. So we'll be expecting also to see them back in their respective team to see how they'll be doing very, very well. Now, let's quickly look.
Well, I didn't really get any surprises. Come on, for many years now, Rafael Nadal has been dubbed and he has cemented his status as the king of clay, and it will go down as the best. All he needs now is just one more Grand Slam, and then Roger Federer will drop to the second most successful player in tennis history. That does not in any way change the status of Roger Federer as another great in the world of tennis. But for Rafael Nadal, it's a very positive one. But the big question that's been generating a lot of reactions has been, why are we not seeing the new generation of tennis stars? There is no tennis player that is below the age of 25 now that has 3 Grand Slam titles. These are the 25. Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, and Novak Djokovic were already on like 8, 9, 10 Grand Slam titles. So let's wait and see. They're saying their generation is gradually fading off. Let's see what would turn out to be after the coronavirus pandemic and sport returns normally. Some of this younger generation, Alexander Zverev, the Tsitsipas of this world, and Nick Kyrgios, to see how they can really take this challenge.
Well, quickly, we also saw a surprise in the women category where Sofia Kenin, but I think Swiatek, if I'm not mistaken, also just gave a pull a surprise and won the tournament.
Well, there's a wrap like what we're seeing in men's tennis. It's no longer about the
Serena Williams, okay,
Simona Halep and the rest. The younger generation seem to be taking over. Naomi Osaka's and the rest.
By one of our viewers, he said, "Mr. Ayo, my namesake, I am really enjoying your football analysis. Mr. Ayo, keep doing what you're doing. I like what you're doing." Well, Ayo, I said the Maradona of sporting analysis, and I think one of our viewers is, I think this one person that is also doing Nigeria proud as far as boxing is concerned. So it's no longer the issue of the Anthony Joshua stuff alone. Now we have somebody also that is fighting to also say Nigerians are also good in boxing.
Well, from the feelers we're getting from Ife Ajagba's camp, he really wants to have that shot at the world title fight.